Everything looks good. All right, so welcome everybody to our wonderful Sunday practice. We're going to start laying down and just have a block and a strap of some sort near you so that we can use that while we're laying down. We're going to be playing with inner thighs a little bit as we work toward a couple of interesting poses. So start by just finding yourself really comfortable on the floor. Maybe your legs are straight, maybe they're bent. Always taking care of your lower back, your particular body. And maybe let the hands come down at your sides, or maybe they're resting on the hip bones, the front hip bones. And just start to get yourself centered on your mat. Start to find your breath. Imagine that your mat can absorb whatever is happening in your world, that it can just allow you to come to the present moment as if it were to store your past and your future in a little box until we're done with class. And as we feel our bodies in this present moment, we start to just notice, do we feel warm or chilly? Do we have a part of our body chatting with us? And is there something we can change right here with this pose to make ourselves a little bit more comfortable, less stressed? Short of crawling back in bed. That's not an option. And just notice how it feels. Start to deepen the breath. Start to draw in more prana. And then bend the knees and let your feet come to the floor. Allow the arms to go overhead really comfortably. Elbows are deeply bent. You're just starting to stretch out the chest, the shoulders a little bit. Starting to notice the hips, the lower back, maybe a few cats and cows here, or pelvic tilts and tucks would really be more appropriate. So I'm just tilting and tucking the pelvis. When I tuck, the back goes flat on the floor. When I tilt, the lower back moves away from the floor. The whole body shifts a little bit up and down as I move. Again, noticing the breath. Couple more right here. Stretching it out. And then come to a neutral spine. There's a little space behind the lower back, the upper shoulder blades pressing toward the floor. Straighten the arms overhead, right to that back wall. Inhale, big deep breath, arch the back a little bit. And as you exhale, bring your left knee to your chest. As you inhale, stretch the left leg long, maybe a little bit of an arch at the back. Exhale, squeeze that knee to chest. Same side. Inhale, both arms overhead. Exhale, knee to chest. Good. Two more right here. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, big deep breath. Exhale, squeeze it in. Hold right here. Hold it right here. Grab your strap. A little farther away than I thought. Wrap it around your left leg. Take that left leg up to the ceiling. And then notice here that the shoulders draw down to the floor, right? The chest widens, the collarbones widen. Feel your right foot on the floor. So press into the right foot, make that leg a little bit more active, and isometrically draw your right heel, ooh, cramp, right heel back a little bit to activate the hamstring, right? What just happened? The hamstring cramped up a little bit. So pull that right heel back a little bit, stretch through the left leg, draw the shoulders back, breathe, and then with the strap right around the ball mound of your foot, push that foot into the strap. Just really reach, 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 and then deep flex of that foot, stretching through the ankles, good, and push through the ball mound, reach the heel or the ball mound up, and stretch it back down, nice flex, one more here, squeeze it up, and squeeze it down, and then hold the strap with just your left hand. Take your right hand to your front hip bone and feel where that baby is, right? So it's not lifted, it's not funky, it's just right there. Keep the right hip bone right where it is. Start to take the left leg out. Allow the right knee to splay out to the side. As soon as your right hip bone starts to move, usually it's lifting, I want you to stop and come back a little bit. I want you, as if you had a sandbag going from hip bone to hip bone, I want both of those hip bones to stay in the same plane, in the same level. All we're doing is stretching out the inside left thigh. Breathe here, and then start to notice, did the left hip hike up? If it did, draw the left hip down so that again the hip, right hip, left hip are in the same plane. Starting to feel this stretch a little bit. As you inhale, grab the strap with your right hand and cross thighs as if you were going to cross your knees. And breathe. So the left leg not going really far, the right thigh should be stopping it from going too far. We're just going to stretch that outer hip. Inhale, center. Grab the strap with your left hand. Let both knees go out to the side as you stretch through the left leg. Breathe. Check those hip bones again. Did one start to shift high or low? Breathe. Good. Inhale, center, cross one more time. Hold that strap with your right hand. Straighten your left leg. Ooh, don't take the left, straighten the right leg. Don't take the left leg any long or any lower. Just feel that sweet little stretch on the outside. If you have the room, keep going over to your right side and allow the left leg to go really long. Keep it about hip level, so don't let it drop all the way to the floor. Keep it about hip level. Use the strap to guide. Try not to over grip your strap. And then open up your whole left side chest, your left side ribs, and take the left arm out to the side, going into a nice twist here. If that is not happening for you and you think, what is she doing this so early? Bend your left knee and take some of that pressure off your hamstrings. Good. Nice deep breath, everybody. One more. And then squeeze your belly. Allow that leg to come right back up. Bend your left knee. Bring it in toward chest. Release your strap. Straighten the leg. And just compare. I always marvel at the difference one side to the other from such a simple little stretch routine there. Good. Bend both knees. Bring your right knee to your chest. Breathe. Keep your left foot on the floor. Arms are overhead. That's it. Good. And stretch your right leg nice and long. Stretch it out. And then bring that knee in. Wrap your arms around. Good. Inhale. Stretch it out. Exhale, bring everything in. Good, 3 more. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, squeeze that knee in. 2 more. Nice long body. Exhaling. Last one, reach it out. Exhale, squeeze that knee in. Grab your strap, wrap it around your right foot. Take that right foot up to the ceiling. And breathe. Shoulders come back down to the floor, collarbones go wide, everything's still the same as it was before. Notice here, find those hips, maybe take your left hand to your left hip bone. And as your right leg goes out to the side, your left knee goes out to the other side, and we stretch. So I noticed right away on this side that I started to lift my left hip off the floor. So if that's happening for you, shorten that descent a little bit and see if you can keep it even. And then notice again, is the right hip to the left hip pretty much level, or did one hip hike up to try to compensate or try to level out both hips? So just notice that, just breathe. Shoulders are softened to the floor, belly is toned here. And then inhale, reach those legs up, grab the strap with your left hand. Keep the left knee bent as you take the right leg across. Oh, say good morning to those outer hips, right? Tensor fascia lata, the iliotibial band, this huge, long tendon that goes from the hip to the knee. Right? Tendons and ligaments, they don't get a lot of blood flow, so they stay tight. They don't stretch as much as muscles. So we got to be patient. We have to be patient. Good. Inhale it up. Exhale, open it up. Left knee out, right leg out. Notice if your knee is bothering you when it's extended like this, soften the back of the knee just a little bit more. Try to find that nice level hip. Press down through the left hip. Yeah, and inhale, bring it across, hold for a moment. Maybe the right arm goes out to the side, the right shoulder presses down, and then straighten your left leg to the floor. Oh, and feel the stretch along your right outer leg. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good, and then when you're ready, keep going. Over to that left side, allow the right leg to descend down to hip level, roughly. Bend the knee as much as you need to. The whole right side chest, right side ribs drop down toward the floor as we come into a twist. Find your breath here. You either love this stretch or you're not a big fan because it's intense. Doesn't matter how many times we do it, right? It can be intense. And then squeeze your belly, everybody. Bring everything back up to center. Bend your knee. Straighten both legs. Pause here for a moment and marvel at how much better those hips feel already. And then set your strap aside. Bend both knees. Take the elbows and upper arms to the floor, fingertips point up to the ceiling, press into your feet, lift your hips. Exhale, let it come down. Inhale, push up. Exhale, down. Good, 3 more. Inhale, squeeze up, little moving bridge pose, and lift up, squeeze those outer hips in and down. Good, this one, hold, lift up, hold. Feel the outer hips just wrap into the pelvis and into the thigh bones, right, as we start to engage. Low belly toned, shoulders pressing into the floor. Maybe the chest lifts a little bit more, maybe not, right? Go easy here. And then march in place. So lift one foot, other foot. And the goal here is not how high you lift or how many you do even, but to see if you can keep your hips pretty level. The goal for me is to keep talking while I do this. Good, so breathe, breathe, breathe. Push into one foot, lift the other. Hang in there, we've got 5 more to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold bridge pose, lift, lift, lift. And exhale, take those hips down to the floor. Bring your knees to your chest. Oh. Feeling good. Good, feet to the floor, one more here. Elbows to shoulders, press into the floor, fingertips pointing up. Press into both feet and lift. Nice deep breath, everybody. Keep the head, neck neutral. Good. Press into your left foot. Lift your right knee and see if you can bring it to chest. 1, stay here. 2, put that foot right back on the floor. 3, take the right leg up to the ceiling. Squeeze your left glute. And then bend your knee and put that foot back on the floor. Lift, lift, lift. Other side, push into your right foot. Bring your left knee to your chest. See if you can keep those hips level. Take the left leg up, reach. And bend the knee. And put that foot back on the floor. Woo, got one more in you, I think you do. Squeeze the hips. Press into your left foot, lift your right knee. Take that foot up to the floor, breathe. Good. I think I said floor when I meant ceiling. Press that right foot in the floor. Squeeze the hips. Lift your left knee to your chest. Take that foot up to the ceiling. Big deep breath. Bend the knee. Set that foot on the floor. Lift and lower. Nice job, everybody. Good. And bring your knees to your chest and rock side to side and stretch it out. Nice. So from here, we're almost done. Grab your block. Take that block between your thighs. Lift both legs up. And notice again, right? Just notice. Give the block a good squeeze. Take your hands underneath your sacrum. Right? Usually we create a little diamond pattern. Your index fingers touch, your thumbs touch. Supports that lower back. Those of you dealing with some back injuries, please be careful here. Maybe the knees stay bent. But otherwise, we're going to take the legs down just a little bit. We're going to start to angle them down. And then draw the shoulders to the floor. Squeeze the belly to the floor. Squeeze your legs and hold. And just kind of notice, there is a point at which, as you start to lower the legs, your lower back wants to arch off the floor. I'm going to invite you to squeeze the belly, press the lower back to the floor. See if you can hover the legs maybe at the level of your hips. Bend your knees, bring them in. Exhale, straighten them up. Good. Remember again, knee back issues, legs stay bent, you're just going to tap your heels and bring it back up. Okay, don't let this be too much. Good, otherwise squeeze the belly, slowly exhale. Start to lower, don't let it go all the way to the floor. Bend your knees, bring them in. And again, lift up. Exhale, slowly descend. Squeeze them in. 2 more, reach up, lower down. Oh yeah, squeeze them in. Last one, reach up. Exhale, slowly lower down. You know, we've been kind of skipping core. So I thought I'd make up for that today. Squeeze those knees in. Grab your block, keep it by you. Knees to chest. There's a way to do almost anything, right, in yoga if we're being mindful, if we modify and create variety, right, variations. So take that same block and take it between your ankles. This oddly is harder. I find this harder. One, you've got to hang on to that block at a pretty distant space from where it was before. Hands go back underneath your hips. Shoulders draw down, and we slowly, slowly lower. Squeeze the block between the feet. Bring them in, listen up. So changing direction, knees are to chest. Straighten the legs out to the far end of your mat. Inhale, squeeze them up. We got 5 of these. Good, knees to chest. Straighten the legs, squeeze your belly. Inhale, legs straight up. Bend your knees. Press them out. Go slow. Inhale it up. right? Take out as much of the momentum as you can. We got 2 left. Reach out, lift up, bend the knees. Good, last one right here. Whoo, squeeze it out, lift it up, bend your knees, take the block out. Well done. Feet to the floor, take your feet wide, windshield wiper your legs. All right, maybe I'll stop there. I was getting very excited about core and I thought this is all gonna be core. We'll never get where I was planning. Bring your knees to your chest. Roll yourself to one side and come on up to a seat. Now, once you're sitting, maybe you sit on a blanket, maybe you sit on a pillow, right? Just so that your hips and back can be nice and level. And then grab your strap and have a block nearby too, just in case. And as you sit really well, find yourself centered on those sit bones so that you're not rounding in your lower back, you're not overarching, which is another thing we can do. We think as we sit up, we create additional tension in the lower back that maybe isn't so necessary. So leave your right leg bent and take the left leg out wide. Your right knee can do whatever it needs to do to be comfortable. In other words, if this compression hurts, take it out wider. You can take it out straight. You can take it out and bend the knee. But if it's okay, keep it bent. If your knee is well off the floor, take the block underneath it. Take the time, right? Even if I'm motoring on here, take the time to take care of your body. And then notice if your hips feel pretty even, right? Are you really lifted off of one hip, or can you draw down on both hips? Can you take the hands and lift your whole hip line off the floor and then set it down so you feel both hip bones, right? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you put a little cushion of something under the lifted hip. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, just take your left arm out to the side and reach over for a side stretch. Press down through your right knee and breathe. That's it. Find that stretch. And inhale up. Take the right hand down to the floor and stretch. This time really grounding the left leg. And feel that little baby stretch. Inhale up. Swan dive the arms open and start to tilt from the hip crease, right? Start to tilt from there. Soften the left knee, especially if you're feeling some tension. And then just take the hands in front of you. And start to notice this forward fold of the hips. If you think about a standing forward fold, for example, if we go wide legs, right? What do we want to do? We want to almost dive in through those deep hip creases. The inner thighs wrap in, the tailbone, right, starts to reach out, the sit bones widen, all of that happening right here. Find your breath. This is going to be pretty important later on. So if you have the patience to just sit here and explore a little bit, maybe you rock a little bit side to side, maybe you sway a little bit, and try to see where is it in me that feels the tightest? Where is it in me that I need to be patient with, right? Patience with the process. Imagine if we could exercise that patience out in the real world. Right. Good, so either no block or block. Take a block to the inside of your left leg. Take your hand or your elbow to that block. See if you can open up the whole chest so that as if you were pulling an arrow or a bow back, elbow points up, and then take that right arm up to the ceiling. When and if you're ready, the arm goes over your ear and you find this deeper side stretch. Now, notice what's happening with your left leg, your left foot, right? Try to press that left leg into the floor. Try to find your breath here. And then turn to face the left leg. Both arms reach out. Block, no block, it doesn't really matter. Draw the left femur in. Stretch out through this leg. Oh yeah. Oh. Now your body might not be this low. Some of you, your body's all the way down to that leg. I know who you are. Some of you, you're up here on your hands, just drawing that hamstring muscle, right? Constantly drawing it and feeling it move from the knee up to the sit bone. What if that was our goal this week? To exercise more patience. I must need this lesson because it keeps popping up. All right, come on up, everybody. Oh, and simply straighten your right leg wide. And just notice the difference, right? Just kind of feel, maybe you feel some more blood flow through that left leg. Maybe the whole inner left thigh is feeling a little warmer, right? So remember, always with joints, no pain, no pull, right? Be gentle. All right, so bring the left leg in. Same thing this side. Maybe the block goes under your left knee, right? Just notice. Maybe you lift both hips up and kind of snuggle those hips back as if you could wrap your sit bones back and then set it back down. Think of that forward fold. If we were standing, this would be so much easier, right? So we want to dive deep into the inner thighs, draw those thighs down. As we start to take the hands just forward, we just notice. Where is it? Do you start to lift off of one hip? Are you too wide, right? Are you overstretching your body? We're just going to check it out. Keep grounding through both the right leg and the left knee as you find your breath here. And then walk the hands back up. Inhale the arms up. Let the right hand come to the mat. Stretch over the right side. Press down through the left knee. And breathe. Inhale both up. Exhale your left hand down. Right arm reaches over. Keep grounding through the right leg, the right hip, right? The tendency to lift up here is pretty tempting. And breathe. Nice. Inhale both arms up. Exhale those hands down. Maybe you take that block to the inside of your right leg this time. Inhale it up. As you exhale, reach over. Maybe it's hand, maybe it's elbow, and stretch it out, right? We want to keep the left side chest open so it's not curling down to the floor. Breathe. Good, really reach down through your right leg, really grounded here. Watch the head, neck, don't let that ear drop down to your right shoulder. Finding that stretch, and then turn your whole body to the right leg. Let the hands come down to the floor. Draw back the shoulders, lengthen over this leg. Nice deep breath, everybody. And come on up. And bend that knee and both legs to Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. I'm all wrapped up in my strap here. Take the feet out wider than your normal. If you can, lift those hips again. Maybe swing forward and back a little bit. And then drop those hips way back behind you so you've got that deep dive again of the hips. Maybe your hands come to your ankles. Maybe they come to your knees. Maybe you fold forward. And say good morning to your inner thighs, your outer hips, right? Maybe you feel this more out here, right? You don't want compression. You don't want the bones rubbing up against each other. You want space. Good. One more deep breath here. And curl yourself all the way up. Draw your knees together. Straighten both legs and just shake them out. Good. And then have your feet toward the front edge of your mat. We're going to get up in a moment, but have your feet toward the front edge of your mat. And do the same thing. So my heels are on the floor. My sit bones are, I can feel both sit bones, but again, I'm going to just pick myself up and kind of swing my hips back, almost to an arch of the back, but not quite that deep. And then I'm going to set them back down again. And you notice how that just helps you lift up. It's a really kind of cool thing. Keep that tone, keep that opening of the lower back. Take your hands behind your thighs and just lift your chest, draw your shoulders back, squeeze your belly. And notice, and then maybe you lean back just a little bit. Maybe you feel that your toes are spread, your heels are digging in, you're isometrically pulling those heels back. And maybe you just lift one leg. And notice, now I've got a fairly decent grip on my thighs because I don't want to round into the pose. I want to keep as lifted as I can. Straighten or bend that knee, lift the other knee. See how that feels. Engage, draw the chest forward, the shoulders back, the belly in. Take those back. Maybe you find your happy place and lift both heels. Hold onto your thighs. Push your legs into your hands back into your thighs, and create this lovely isometric core pose. Maybe you straighten one leg and bend it. Maybe you straighten the other leg and bend it. Lift up. Maybe both legs straighten. Breathe. Woohoo. That's it. Hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Bend both knees and drop those heels to the floor. Maybe you curl around those legs. Just have this other image too of, when you're a kid and, you can just like, just lounge around your whole body. So maybe we need to cut ourselves a little bit of slack, right? And just relax here a little bit. All right, so dig your right heel into the floor. Lift your torso. Keep your right hand behind your right thigh, like that, just so you have good support. Bend your left knee. See if you can grab a hold of your foot or your big toe and just straighten that leg. Now I'm digging my right heel into the floor pretty hard to help me stay lifted. And I'm just going to take the left leg out to the side and my right knee out to the side, just like we did when we were laying down. But I'm not going to let the torso, I'm not going to let the back round. And take it over. Maybe you cross the legs and then take it out again. Nice, easy. Lift up. If you can, let go of the right leg. Take both arms up, lift the chest. Breathe. Take everything back to center, bend that foot, dig the left heel into the floor. Reach down, grab your right foot, your right big toe, your right ankle, right wherever you can. Draw that knee in. Feel the left heel really digging in. Maybe hold on to the back thigh for now. Lift your chest and straighten the leg. And then take the left knee out as the right leg goes out. And bring it up and bring it across. Not going to go far. Maybe open it up. Maybe lift. Maybe let go of the left leg. Dig the left heel in, by the way. Keep the hips level. Find that deep breath. And bring it to center and let it go. Nice. One more, I swear. So you're going to reach those heels in a little bit more. If you can, I want you to go inside legs to your big toes. Hold on to those big toes. Send them a little bit of love. Lift one heel. See if you can lift the other heel. One, stay here, keep the back lifted. Two, open the legs and breathe. So it's a similar thing, right? I'm pulling on those big toes, but my big toes are pushing back. And I'm seeing if I can lift. Maybe you're here more bent knee, a little bit tricky, right? Maybe the legs are pretty straight. Maybe you're grabbing your shins instead. And bring the legs together and let them go. And shake them out, everybody. Oh, good. And let's come on up to table pose. Have both of your blocks right at the front of your mat. And breathe. I think I'm finally warming up, even downstairs and inside. All right, so from table pose, just simply stretch your right leg long. Lift it up, step it over your left and look back. Just stretch out that hip we've been playing with. And breathe. And then lift it up, bring it back. Left leg straightens, engage the belly, lift the left leg, step it over the right, and look over. And breathe. And then lift it up, bring it back. Come on down. Come down to your elbows. You can interlace the hands if you want, or you can keep the arms straight. Either one is okay. Press the right leg out. Engage your belly, level out your hips, lift your right knee. Press into your arms, your forearms. Breathe. Try to level out the hips. Try to squeeze that belly. And then sail your right leg out to the side of your right hip. And drop that foot down to the floor. Walk your hands up. So, little different way to come into gate pose. Lift up the torso. Find that right leg nice and long, straight out from the hip. I'll turn sideways, straight out from the hip. I'm planting my pinky toe side. Some of you may prefer heel to the floor, toes up. Just watch the knee. And then take the left arm and slide it down. Just slide it down your leg. And bring it back up. Good. Keep the right leg active. Slide your left arm down. And bring it up. One more right here. Slide it down. And then find a place that feels comfortable. If your fingertips to the floor feel comfortable, stay there. If you're better, a little bit higher, 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 all the way up to here. Find the spot where you can press hand into leg, leg into hand, and then take your right arm over. Breathe. Big belly squeeze, everybody. That's it. Good. Squeeze your belly. Slide the left hand back up. Both arms up to the ceiling. Right arm down. And take it over. It's a lovely thing. And inhale, both arms up. Hinge deep from the hips. Listen up. Same thing. Hips roll in. Elbows come back to the floor. Pause. See if you can lift that right leg up off the floor and sail it back and bring it down. Breathe. So you're on elbows, your left leg straightens. Squeeze the heck out of your belly, level out the hips, lift the left leg. Slide it out to the side, maybe you hold for a moment. And then drop that foot to the floor. Walk the hands up. Find gate pose on this side. Turn again and breathe. Notice. Keep your left hand on your hip. Slide the right hand down. And then slide it back up. This is actually a little bit of oblique work, right? A little bit of side body work. And take it up. Here's the challenge of gate pose, right? Take the hands down, find the spot that feels good. Sometimes we can over collapse and then it just doesn't feel good. We feel like we're holding on for dear life. That's when we come up higher, right? So that it makes sense in our bodies. Good, squeeze the belly, keep the pelvis deep and take the right or left arm overhead. I'm pushing my hand into my leg. I'm pushing my leg back in. Breathe. Don't let the head drop. Find the pose, lengthen, belly squeeze. And then inhale, reach up. Both arms up. Take the left arm down. Take it into a nice side bend. And breathe. It just feels good to stretch out the body, doesn't it? Right? It just feels good to stretch. And inhale, both arms up. Hinge from those hips, take the hands down, drop back down to your elbows, press those elbows into the floor. See if you can lift. Why is that so much harder? Take the leg back, draw your knee down to the floor, and maybe sit in a little child's pose. Just for a moment or two, just to find your breath. All right, give those inner thighs a little bit of a rest. I must have warmed up. All right, that's enough rest. We got work to do. Take yourself to table pose, plant those hands, bend your knees, lift your knees off the floor and walk your feet wide on your mat. So I've got my pinky toes right at the edge of my mat. And then I'm simply gonna bend my knees to tap the floor, straighten my legs to down dog. Bend the knees, tap the floor, belly squeeze, straighten the legs. Bend, and straighten. 2 more. Bend, using your body weight, straighten the legs. Last one, bend the knees, lift the knees, hold. Keep the knees bent. And then imagine lifting your sit bones. So a little bit of an arch of the low back, right? Squeeze the belly, lift the sit bones. And then draw the chest toward those thighs. And then straighten the legs. Straighten the legs any amount. Maybe your hamstrings are still pretty tight, right? We don't want to overdo. Press into the fingers, almost claw those fingers into the mat. Feel the index finger pressing down, the ball mound of that finger pressing down. And then walk your feet hips width apart. Feel your lovely down dog. Lift onto your tippy toes, step right foot forward. Lower your knee to the floor. Grab your blocks. Take your hands under your blocks if you've got them. Lift your chest. Engage your left glute, left leg. Hands stay on blocks. Flip your toes under, lift your knee. And then just barely tap it. And then lift again and tap. Building some leg strength here. Lift and tap. Last one. Actually 2 more. And down. Last one. Hold right here. And then start to straighten your front leg. Don't have to go really far. Draw the shoulders back. Maybe the knee stays bent. Wrap your outer right hip to the back side of the room. And breathe. Press into your big toe mound. If you're long here, right, if your pose is long because you were in a nice long lunge, maybe you pull back a little bit, shorten it, and then stretch your lovely little hamstring on the right side. Leg straightens to your ability, the chest lengthens to your ability. Big deep breath, everybody. Bend your knee, lower your left knee, step your right leg back, walk your blocks forward, and drop into a variation of puppy stretch. Don't go all the way through. Press hands strongly into blocks. That's it. And then come on up, walk those blocks back so that they're in decent reach. Walk the left foot forward. Hold your nice lunge here. Find your breath. Roll the shoulders. Lift your right knee off the floor and lower. Good. Lift, squeeze, and lower. Lift, hold it, full extension, and down. 2 more. Lift and lower. Good. Lift and hold right here. Squeeze your belly. Start to straighten your left leg. Wrap that left hip around, right? So that that hip isn't rolling forward, knee isn't rolling in. Instead, they're both neutral as we draw that hamstring nice and long, and then take our torso as if somebody had a string to the crown of our head, reaching it forward. Breathe. That's it. Just notice And then bend your knee, lower your right knee, step the left leg back, walk your blocks forward, and stretch the torso really long. Don't sink too much between the shoulder blades. Keep it really strong here as if you're squeezing something between the arms. And then take the torso up, walk those blocks back. Step forward, right leg. Lift your right knee. Start to turn all your toes toward the left. Walk your blocks forward with you. And then come on down. Walk the blocks way forward. Keep the heels planted. And then notice where you have the weight of your feet, right? I want your heels planted, but really I want you in the center of your feet. And then imagine pulling your legs away from each other, like I'm really pushing the legs isometrically away. But then at the same time, I want you to squeeze the legs together. See if you can find that interplay between the outer legs and the inner legs. Good, let your hands just come off your blocks. Plant the hands down. Soften your knees, bend the knees. One hand to one knee, the other hand to the other knee. And come on up. Oh, yeah. Good, maybe heel toe in a little bit, especially if you went wide, maybe shake out the hips. And then imagine, right, that you could take these thighs and roll them in. In fact, you can do that, right? Roll them in, the knees kind of collapse, and then take the knees back out to neutral and lift. And then straighten the legs. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, squeeze. Good, inhale it up. Exhale, squeeze it down. Two more, inhale. Exhale, squeeze down. Last one, inhale. Exhale, hold right here. Release the hands and take them to your upper thighs. And just kind of squeeze the shoulders toward the ears, but not that you feel like you're choking here, but just to extend and lengthen your whole side body. And then imagine pushing your hands into your thighs and your thighs pressing back into your hands as if you could lift your thighs. Keep that serious pressure and lift your left heel and lower. Lift your right heel and lower, right? Little weightlifting here for your calf muscles. I'm really pushing down on my thighs. So I'm creating a lot of resistance. My belly is toned. I'm just lifting, lowering. That's it. Good. Lower both heels. Plant both feet. Lift both heels. Hold. Don't let the shoulders roll forward. I just felt mine starting to roll forward, but I'm still pushing strongly down on my thighs. Now, keep the heels lifted if you can. Find your still point. Release and lift the arms. Breathe. Imagine squeezing those thighs toward each other. Hang in there. Find your breath. Lower the heels. See if you can sink lower. Be mindful. Be careful. Be gentle. And stand up. Exhale it. Oh, yeah. Shake it. I don't know. It all feels good, right? It just feels good. It feels like my muscles are awake and alive when we play here. So step those legs together, grab a block, take the block between your thighs. Feet are relatively hips width apart. Block might make that a little wider, that's okay. Toes are pointing forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart, squeeze. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come on down. Good, inhale it up. Exhale, squeeze the block. Inhale, up. Exhale, squeeze down. Last one, inhale, up. Exhale, squeeze, hold. Now, what happens, right? Chest lifts, tailbone lengthens. I'm pressing toward the heels of my feet, chair pose. Maybe the feet walk in just a little bit more. Tailbone long, belly in, chest lifted, arms come out. Now imagine someone trying to pull that block. out from behind you, right? That deep inner crease of the thighs as we find our breath, as the chest lifts, as the tailbone lengthens more. Hands to heart. Breathe. Good. One arm up, one arm down. And then bend. And bend. Watch the knees. Bend. That's it. You're just kind of, I don't know, maybe this is what it looks like to snow ski or whatever that's called, cross country, right? We're just traveling along, working those doggone legs. Woo! Keep it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand up and exhale down. And take the block out and set it aside. Good, just shake out the legs. Just shake it out. I need to grab my phone so I see what time it is. How time flies when you're having fun. All right. So I now have an appreciation for those of you who are doing class on carpeting. It's much harder to balance, but we're gonna play with the balance here. If you're near a wall, use it, right? Find that space so that fingertips can touch the walls. But otherwise, I just want you to have your hands on your hips. Just find your breath. And then shift into your right leg, but pretend you're squeezing the block. Squeeze hips, squeeze glutes. Start to peel your left foot off the floor. Just bring it up to your knee. Squeeze the knee in. Take the arms up. Remember what we did on the floor. Breathe, straighten the leg, don't touch. Bring it in, wrap it around. Stretch it out, bring it in. Stretch it all long, tap if you need to. Bring it up, last one, tap down and bring it up. Play, play, play with balance, everybody, every day. Play with balance. Good, mountain pose. Same thing other side, shift into your left foot. Bring your right knee to your chest. Maybe this is where we hang out, right? Maybe this is where we find our balance. Oh yeah. And then arms up, legs straight. Bring it in. Good, arms straight, legs straight. Bring it in, woo. Find it. And in, last one, reach. And bring it in. And set it down. Just gonna move my mat out of the way. So, balance work. Hands to hips. Shift into your right leg. Just come to your big toe of your left and squeeze both hips back to center. Imagine if you could take all the muscle fibers and wrap them strongly around the pelvis. If you can think of this, right, basket of a pelvis, and we're weaving the muscles in nice and tight. Hands to hips, I just want you to turn the leg out to the side. Last class we played with tree pose, almost too much. So think of a sort of tree pose here. And then stand strongly into your right leg and slide your left leg up wherever it'll go, and then slide it back down. This is tricky. Slide it up and slide it down. You don't even have to touch. Just slide the leg up, whoo, and down. One more. Slide it up and down. Good. Shake it out. Switch sides. Stand strong in your left leg. Wrap the muscles into the bone, right? Turn your right foot out, your right leg out. You're on your big toe. Squeeze your belly in really firm, all the muscles of this quadricep, of this whole leg. And then slide it up and down. You can make contact or not. Slide it up and down. Good. Slide up and down. Slide it up and down. One more. Slide it up and down. And shake it out. Maybe a fingertip to a wall. Maybe, right? We're here, we lift up, we squeeze up, we shift, to our right leg. Again, we suck all of that energy back into that leg, and we lift our left knee and turn it out to the side and bring it into a tree pose. Squeeze the legs toward each other, hands to heart. Lift up. Keep feeling the muscles wrap into the bone. Woof. And breathe. The more I firm my hips, my glutes, and my belly, the easier it is to find this balance. Big deep breath. Bring the knee to center. Straighten it out in front of you and lower it down. Shake it out. Do a little dance. Okay. I'm in a room all by myself. Sorry. All right, roll your shoulders. Find that nice strong pose. Hands are to your hips. Draw your left or your right knee in. Find your balance. Take the right leg to tree pose. Squeeze the hips. Press your left leg into your right thigh. Start to firm everything. 1 finger, 2 fingers to a wall is a beautiful thing. Keep breathing. So the other interesting thing, the more I worry about the carpet I'm standing on, the harder it is to balance. Oh, breathe. All right, here we go. Bring the knee to center. Keep standing strong on the left leg. Straighten that leg out in front of you. And lower it down. Holy moly. All right, shake it out, everybody. Fingertips to a wall. Perfectly beautiful. Hands to hips, belly squeeze. Just squeeze all your legs. Squeeze your legs, your hips, your glutes, right? Firm the thigh muscles without hyperextending your knees. And let that go. Good, and then find that energy again. I want you to bend your, stand on your right leg, bend your left, take your hand outside and then under your left thigh. Left hand to under your left thigh, take the right arm up. Firm your right leg. Breathe. Take the knee out to the side. Take it center. Lower it down. Shake it out. Shift sides. Lift your right knee, hand under thigh, left arm up. Squeeze the left leg. Find your breath. Right, just notice, take that knee out to the side. Take it center. Lower it down, shake it out. Choice number 1. Any of the things we just did, tree pose, knee up, knee out to the side, right? Those, any of those. Or let's see if we can just go a little bit deeper. There's an option here. I don't tend to teach with the strap for this because I find the strap can get a little, can throw me off. But if you want to use a strap, have that as your option. You're going to shift to your right foot, and I'll show you. And you're going to wrap your left foot and then hold on to it on the inside. Take your right arm up. If you're not using your strap, you're holding on to your big toe or the outside of your left foot, either one. For me, it's big toe. You're here. Maybe this is where you hang out, right? Breathe. Or you strongly push down into your right leg, right foot, and take the left leg up. Belly tone, the hips are deep, they're even, right? I'm strongly pressing down into my right foot, squeezing my right glutes. finding my balance. And then I'm gonna bend that knee, release the strap if you have it, and lower down. Shake it out. Do a little dance. If I play too much, I can't hold anything. But if I get too serious, I can't hold it either, right? So there's the play in yoga. There's the, let's enjoy this process. Let's experiment and play and learn without taking ourselves too darn seriously. All right, other side. Remember, strap around the right foot this time if it makes sense. I want you to bend your right knee, bring it in. Your hand wraps inside, grabs your big toe or outside foot, depending on your flexibility. You can also grab your thigh. You can grab your shin. Arm up, left arm up. Squeeze your belly. When and if you're ready, just see if you can extend any amount. I love my friend Deb. She always says, any amount. Breathe. Maybe the leg straightens, maybe it doesn't, right? Woo, woo. Anybody else wooing out there besides me? Breathe, chest lifts. If you're already down, come on down. Shake it out, everybody. Woo, yeah. Okay. And then cross your left foot in front of your right. Press your right knee into the back of your left knee. So you've got a soft bend in your knees. Hinge nice and deep from your hips and come on down for a little stretch. Just breathe. Squeeze your belly, lift your chest, come on up. Roll your shoulders back. Switch sides. Your right knee in front of your left, but then my left knee pushes behind my right knee. And then hinge from your hips. It's almost like you're doing a squat or doing eagle pose, right? You keep the knees soft. And then come on down, stretch out. For most of us, it's that back hip. Big deep breath. And then squeeze the belly, lift your chest. Come on up, everybody. And release. If you happen to step off mat like I did, go ahead and straighten it back out. Come on back onto your mat. Take the legs really wide. Good. Big deep hinge from your hips. Come on down and forward. And breathe. Maybe you even heel to toe, right? Rock forward and back. And then come somewhere near center. Feel the torso get heavy toward the floor. Keep a softness at the back of your knees. Good. Come halfway up. Heel toe those feet. Back together. Take your hands to your blocks. So if you don't have your blocks, go ahead and get them. I've got my blocks on the lower setting. You can go to the higher setting, or middle setting, not high. Bend both knees. Like really get deep into those hips. I automatically feel those inner thighs kind of wrapping back so the sit bones are wide. And then I'm gonna see if I can put a little bit more weight from wrist to shoulders. Push strongly into your block. Lift your right heel off the floor. Bring that heel to your glute. Send the whole knee back, the whole knee. And then straighten the legs. And breathe. From here, I want you to wrap that right knee toward your right elbow draw it back. So you're doing huge knee circles here while building upper body strength. Good, big circle. One more, big circle. And then bring heel to butt, bring knee towards ceiling. Squeeze your belly, level out your hips, straighten the legs. One more time. And lower down. Shake it out. We're almost done. Wrists to shoulders, relatively speaking. Peel your left heel. Bring your heel to your butt. Bring your knee back. Straighten the leg. Find your breath. Belly squeeze. And then knee to elbow-ish, circle. That's it. Circle. That's 3. We got 2 left. Circle it. And circle. Last one. Big circle. And then heel to butt. Knee lifts, belly squeeze. Straighten the leg. And lower it down. Set your blocks to either side of your mat. Hands to the floor. Feet step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, tippy toes. Lower your knees to the floor, everybody. And come on down to your elbows. Straighten those legs. Find Sphinx pose. Find Sphinx. And then just kind of rock side to side. Like make the front line of your hips really long. Right? Maybe start to feel a little stretch in the long side belly here. Maybe bend one knee and then the other. Notice what all those things do for your back, for your belly. If it's too much, I know at least one of you dealing with some low back stuff, walk the elbows forward and see if that helps. So you're not as deeply in or even lower the upper body. Always listen, 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 listen to your belly, to your body and your belly. Good, then lower the legs, lower the body. Simply bend your knee, slide the inner thigh out to the side so that your knee is coming straight out from your hip. Your upper body is low. Your hips are as level as you can make them. I mean, here my left hip is higher, right? Breathe. And 1, stay here, or 2, just straighten that left leg. You're on the inside of that leg. Flex the foot. Just feel it. Your right leg is neutral. Your center of your thigh is on the floor. And then bend the knee, but keep the leg if you can. So option 1, just hang out here, like gravity. Take that left hip closer to the floor. Or 2, come back into Sphinx pose with your upper body. A little variation here, a little deeper stretch of the inner thigh. Find your breath. And then lower your upper body. Slide your left leg back. Pause for a moment. Upper body is low. Slide your right inner thigh and knee out to the side. When I first started doing this one, the bent knees hip was really high. It was really high up off the floor. And as my inner thighs have gotten a little bit stretchier, the hips gotten a little bit lower. If you have the room, I've run out of room here, I'm at the wall. Oh, that feels good. Press your foot into the wall if it's there, or just straighten that leg out to the side. And breathe. And then bend your right knee And either stay here or lift up to Sphinx pose again. Nice long left leg centering that leg, so right at the center of the thigh. Feeling this nice little kind of belly inner thigh stretch all at the same time. And then lower down, slide that leg back down. Come back to Sphinx pose if you can. Watch that low back. Find your breath. Only if you want. Lower, hands under shoulders. Draw the shoulders, elbows back. Come to Cobra. We really need a back bend class. We're going to be working on that. Stretching it out. See, you do a lot of core work. That belly gets tight, right? So breathe, breathe, breathe. And lower down. Nice. Turn over to one side. Just bend your knees right into your chest and pause. Take your top knee and lift it toward the ceiling. Bring that knee to your shoulder. Grab your big toe, your foot, your ankle, and straighten it up. Let everything else be heavy. That's it. And bend that knee. Lower that knee. Come over to the other side in whichever way makes sense for you. You're laying on that opposite side. Head is supported, knees are bent toward your chest. Bottom leg grounds, your top knee comes to your chest. You reach and grab maybe your big toe, your ankle, and straighten it up to the ceiling. And just breathe. You know, so many times we will see what is wrong with our bodies or our lives, instead of seeing all of the things that are right, that are good, that are sweet, that are real. Good, bend your knee. Bring it back over to your side. And when you're ready, curl yourself all the way over to your back. Bring both your knees to your chests. Cross your left knee over your right, squeeze both in. We focused on those inner thighs, which means the outer ones got tight. Good, release and switch sides. Squeeze them in. And release those legs, both knees to chest stretch. One leg super long, take it to the corner edge of your mat. Stretch the other leg super long, take it to the other corner of your mat. Feel your legs just release the inner shoulders opening up, your hands out to your sides. And feel Shavasana. And as you move into Shavasana, maybe you smile at your effort today. Maybe you smile at the silliness and the seriousness and the fun of it all. Maybe you exercised a little more patience with your body and your process. We feel our bodies sinking down into our yoga mats. And we remind ourselves that we can be in this present moment. We remind ourselves that we can stay with the breath. And practice patience and compassion. Notice your breath. Stay with this pose of surrender a little bit longer. Begin to bring your attention back. Start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Maybe circle your ankles, your wrists. Slowly draw your knees to your chest. Rock to one side or the other, curl over to fetal pose. And then smile your way all the way up to your seat.